Are you tired of feeling like you have so much to offer in your work, but it's just not coming through? Watching what everyone else is doing and wondering whether that will work for you? Stop that right now. You've come to the right place because here on the Cosmic Queen podcast with me, Rachel Starr, you're going to discover your genius, your gifts, and how you can use your iconic cosmic blueprint to create the business and lifestyle you crave. I started my business as a side hustle alongside my successful career in tech. When I had my son during lockdown, I knew it was time to leave the corporate jungle for the entrepreneur's adventure. I'm a 2-5 manifesting generator with a Sag midheaven archetype, and I've built it all my way. Now I'm going to teach you to do the same. This is a no cookie cutter advice zone. Here we use personalized and effective systems like astrology and human design to work smarter, not harder, and have a damn good time doing it. Welcome to the Cosmic Cutting Edge. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cosmic Queen podcast. Another exciting episode coming to you today. I am so thrilled because in the studio, in the virtual studio, we have with us Cait, who is CEO, creator of Meraki Media Management. We are diving into a topic that I think a lot of you maybe have thought about, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a content creator, in the back of your mind, but maybe you haven't fully taken action on it yet. Maybe you're like, ooh, at some point I'll dive in and figure out how to do that and what that is and all that kind of stuff. We're talking about SEO. Okay, SEO for content creation. I know that has been personally on my to-do list for probably a couple of years. And I haven't dived in yet. And so I am also excited for this absolute treat of having Cait here to talk about her expertise, give us some tidbits, some places to start. And she's going to be coming and talking to us even deeper, even further in the future. But stay tuned to hear about that opportunity coming up. So, Cait, I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor, and I'm so excited to meet everyone virtually and hopefully inside the container as well. More to come on that, but thank you so much, Rachel. This is so special.
Oh, this is amazing. I've known that I wanted to have you on the podcast for so long, and finally I was like, okay, I saw that you launched something, and I was like, boom, we need to talk. Let's get into it for the people and for ourselves. So I want to introduce you properly before we dive into our topic today, just so you all know the absolutely magical creature that is Cait. So, as the owner and creative director of Meraki Media Management, Cait is passionate about social media and building personal connections. The potential to connect with people from all over the world truly excites her, and that's what inspired her to start this business. She specializes in business coaching and helping entrepreneurs and businesses realize their potential to thrive. She is dedicated to showing clients how they can succeed and reach their full potential. Sounds like our kind of girl. Sounds like, yes. So, okay. So tell me a little bit about Meraki Media Management. And I just love this name. Where did you come up with this name before we dive into all the SEO goodness? Like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Thank you so much again for sharing. So, Meraki is actually a Greek word, and I did not find the name. My best friend did when I was launching my business. And basically, I built this business out of an idea at my previous career. I was working for a local nonprofit. We launched an Instagram giveaway. And we went from 18,000 followers to 500,000 followers in 30 days
Oh my
for such
God.
a great cause, with the
That's,
nonprofit. It
yes,
was crazy. I
that's
was
crazy.
22, fresh out of college, literally had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
A little bit of luck, but a lot of strategy as well went into building that campaign. So once we had this great success, I was like, maybe I should be doing this for other businesses. I
Yeah.
don't see people, taking a hold of this type of strategy online. This was back in 2019 when I launched my company, Meraki.
Hmm.
So my best friend, who is also an entrepreneur, she was like, hey, let's find a business name. And she came
Hmm.
across the name, and Meraki actually means to put your heart and soul into your work. So
Oh
that
my
is where the
gosh.
name
I
comes.
didn't know that. Oh my God. Okay. Circle heart. Yes, that's amazing. And are you Greek? Is that? your
I
heritage?
am not Greek, but I am Italian.
Okay,
So
close.
I like to say, it's kind of close, Mediterranean-ish.
Mediterranean, you know.
In the same seas, kind of. But yeah, I just fell in love with the name. And
Yeah.
I think it really embodies the business that we built. Like I have about a team of 8 people that work with me now. And
Mhm.
it really shows.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Thank
Queen.
you
Yes.
so much. And it's really just about like we have to believe in the brands that we work with, in the messaging
Hmm.
that they're promoting, because we're
Hmm.
promoting for them, right?
Yes.
So that's really been a great manifestation of what we've created over the years, for sure.
Amazing. Amazing. I honestly, I'm all about branding and I just feel like a powerful name, like the name means everything. And so I just love that. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's beautiful. So tell us, our topic today is SEO for content creation. I love how you kind of talk about this being the low hanging fruit. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, tell us more about, because I think when we think of content creation, or at least when I think of content creation, by the way, we've got a lot of people live on TikTok. Hello, shout out. When I think of content creation, I think of, the creative process of like bringing out your ideas, your voice, and your message. I'm not necessarily thinking of SEO. Why is that? I have too many questions for you. Okay, here's the first question. Why is that a mistake to kind of not think about SEO? Tell us.
Yeah, so SEO is basically a ranking of words of when people are searching for something across
Mhm.
platforms. Doesn't just have to be on Google, can also be on things like Reddit, YouTube, where people search for information.
Mhm.
So there isn't anything wrong with leading all intuitive, with content, because I think at times we, as people and business owners that have been in the industry for so long,
Mhm.
sometimes we can project what our clients want before they want it,
Yes.
because we
Mhm.
just know them so well. So
Yeah.
there is definitely gift to that side of content creation. What SEO can do is maybe help you put exact words that your clients are already searching for to that idea. Because a lot
Mm.
of the times we might just be missing the mark because we're not using the same rhetoric. So
Yes.
that's why I love SEO, because it kind of bridges the gap for the client to understand, oh, this is exactly what I'm going to get outside of this program or with this
Mhm.
downloadable PDF that they're already searching for.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I remember when I started creating content on TikTok, because like I really made a concerted effort this year to grow my TikTok and it's working. It's now like double, probably almost triple in size now to my Instagram. And I had my Instagram for, a couple of years, my Cosmic Queen HQ Instagram. And then now it's like, okay, here we go, TikTok. And I'm loving TikTok. Like I'm obsessed. It is a search engine, like people search there. But I realized that like, my people and my content, even though it's astrology content, it's not necessarily that people are searching for astrology. They're searching for like career advice or, business owner stuff or, fame. They're looking for the topics that I'm talking about, not just the industry that I'm in. I'm one of those crossover people, and I'm sure a lot of people listening are the same way. Like I'm a crossover person. I'm a crossover entrepreneur between industries. I'm not really only in the astrology space at all. In fact, like I'm not as connected to the astrology space as the coaching and the business space, but then I'm not in the corporate space either. And so it's like I'm a bridge. And so how can SEO really help someone who's like me, who's like a bridge between industries?
Yeah, absolutely. I love this question and I love bridge people in these industries because I think it's so necessary. Like this is
Hmm.
how we create change. And really these industries are all connected, as you know. So
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
just able to show others why career searching would morph into business coaching. And basically what SEO will do is it'll show you, okay, if somebody is looking for projectors, for example, like
Yes.
their information.
Hmm.
Then all of a sudden it comes up that that similar type of search is also looking for career adjustments.
Hmm.
Then maybe you do a whole post around projectors and career changes because in their background of their human design,
Hmm.
they're such a minute portion of society. They
Yes.
don't feel understood in the workforce. Let's create a whole program around that. Or
Hmm.
let's just go ahead and create a post to kind of test it first. See
Ooh,
how,
I love this.
yeah.
Yes. So using it as, and I think this is an area of SEO that is maybe less understood by people who are newer to it, by like myself. So using it as research, right? So
Yeah.
you're talking about kind of like if we're thinking about the whole creative content process, like at what point does SEO come in? So does it come in when we're like ideating, when we're thinking about the content that we're going to create? Does it come in during the creation process? Does it come in during the analysis, like research process? Like, how do you think of it?
Yeah, so it's so interesting. I'm actually leading a consulting session on this for a client. And the first thing I'm going to show them is SEO because I just feel like it helps my clients build their confidence as well around
Mm,
knowing, okay, these topics are already being searched for. I'm just here offering that low-hanging fruit, that opportunity to get that information. So
mhm.
that's kind of how I see it.
Nice.
However, it can really be a part of the whole process. So I like to say it's great to do some research and analysis with SEO at the start. Then maybe
Okay.
you dabble with it. You know, you
Mhm.
give it a go, you tag some of the keywords, let it sit because when it comes to research, which I actually went to college for this, it takes a certain amount of days to actually get data. So even on
Mhm.
insights on Instagram, when they're showing you 7 days of data,
Yeah.
7 days is not going to be nearly as accurate as your 60 or 90-day analysis of your data. Just
Okay.
more information, that it can kind of track over time for you. The same
Mhm.
thing for SEO, but it is something that you have to keep up with. Maybe you do set a 30-day reanalysis for yourself after you utilize these tools to basically
Ooh.
go in and retag it, because that will
Yeah.
also help your Google search, which is basically the overall goal. Now, again, it's also going to help your YouTube and maybe even something like TikTok, Instagram, because all of these things, like when it comes to social medias, are connecting on the back end through Google now. That's like
Right.
something that over time. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, this is so good. And I like how you just threw that gem out there because, of course, all these platforms are connecting on the back end through Google. I don't know that everyone realizes that, right? Like that's a mic drop right there, right there. And also the fact that people are using these platforms as search engines. Oh my God, you're just like a font of like gems, information. Like this is there's a lot of really good insight that you're dropping here. What are kind of like mistakes that you see people do when they start working with SEO, or maybe they're not using SEO? What are kind of mistakes that you, or a key mistake that you think that we should make sure that we're aware of that we avoid? Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say the key mistake is going for a keyword that's too outranked, right? It's really high on the
Oh,
search. And there's
too
actually
popular, like
too
too, oh,
exactly.
interesting.
Kind of
Okay.
like when you think about old school hashtags and they're like, make sure you tag three big hashtags, but like it's very rare that you would
Yes.
ever hit the
Yes.
top of the hashtag. Same thing with SEO. Now, it may
Mhm.
make sense depending on your industry. If you're
Mhm.
filling a gap, you may want to tag some of that so people can start to see the bridge between
Right.
industries.
Hmm.
But with someone like myself, if I just went in and said social media, there's no way I'm going to rank on
Yeah.
Google. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
example. So
Mhm.
getting a little bit more detailed with the SEO and understanding the sweet spot, which we'll be sharing inside our container a little
Yeah.
bit more,
Hmm.
because it is a little bit more nuanced, and
Hmm.
understanding that it's an experiment. It's just like any other piece of data,
Yeah.
not going all in on SEO. It's like marketing. It's supposed to support your content development,
Hmm.
support the creation, but it shouldn't be the only guide.
Hmm.
It should be your intuition in combination with what people are searching for, because of course that's going to make it feel more authentic as well.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
kind of a few mistakes that I see people make.
Okay. Yeah. I hope everyone is really paying attention to what you're saying there because I feel like there's a really rich conversation to be had just in this space around like trending versus overly saturated versus like your core messaging, core content. And that, I mean, this is why I encourage people to not approach content creation with a perfectionist mind because it's just, you can't, like, it's always changing. And what's a trend today, like might not be a trend tomorrow, or something that it might be overly saturated. And then you might need to go back to your core messaging and who your brand is and who you are. And so there's all these different pieces of the puzzle, but you also need to experiment and have fun and play and like talk about things that are of the moment. So I feel like, it can feel very overwhelming to people in the
Yeah.
beginning, which is why I'm very grateful for people like you who do offer this media management as a service to support. So I want to ask you a question about trends versus core messaging in a minute, because I think it would be just really interesting to pick your brain and hear what your thoughts are there. But first, I want to give a quick plug to anyone, who is interested in this topic and who is like, ooh, 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 I need to know more. So Cait is going to be a very special guest inside of the Constellation community in November. I can't wait. I'm so, so thrilled. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. And we are, in the Constellation community, this is like the most incredible membership for people who want to learn about living with cosmic energies, utilizing cosmic energies, understanding how to use them in your day-to-day life. This is about practical magic, bringing astrology and human design into your business, into your life, all of the good things. And so I am just thrilled to have Cait come and do this workshop for us. So she's going to talk about SEO for content creation, how to really, utilize this low-hanging fruit. And it's all going down on November 14th. So you don't want to miss it. You want to be there for this session. It's going to be gold. You can either join the Constellation community and get access, or I'm going to put a link in the show notes if you want to just come just for the session as well. And yeah, shout us out. It's going to be incredible. If you know anyone who needs to really get their head right around content creation, SEO, getting their brand seen and visible, like this is a great event for you. So I had to plug that really quickly. Anything else you want to say about the event, Cait?
No, I'm just so excited. And honestly, if you're even thinking about joining us, go ahead and join because you'll learn so much, even about ChatGPT and like AI tools within
Nice.
this container. So, yeah, I'm very excited.
Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be so, so high value. I can't wait. So I wanted to ask you this question about like trending versus, because I think this is an internal struggle that a lot of entrepreneurs have. And I feel that way sometimes too, because I'm such a pop culture girly. I love pop culture. I love Brat Summer, Demira Fall, like, I'm all over it. But I know that there's this worry that people have that they have to like all their content needs to be about like what's trending and what are people searching for right now versus creating like a foundational, kind of like of what you're here to say to your people and not going for the trend, but going for just speaking directly to your core soulmate audience. What are your thoughts around how what you like what have you seen and what do you think about this topic around trending? Yeah, trending content.
Yeah, I love trends too. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a place and time for it. Like if you
Yeah.
see a trend and you're like, "Hey, this is awesome. I
Mhm.
totally am feeling called to create something around this." Go ahead and do it. Like I believe that's your intuition talking.
Yeah.
So that's more of that heart-centered framework that we're going to apply,
Hmm.
utilizing more data for business owners that are maybe lost in what types of
Yes.
content create. So
Hmm.
that's SEO will help guide you. Like maybe how can you take a trend idea and throw it and bridge it with some of your content that you're already sharing on our topics that you know a lot about. That's the
Hmm.
type of thing that I would have my clients do, where there's
Hmm.
always a little bit of a business spin on it,
There's a
where
natural fit to the trend with your brand, right? Rather than trying to force it. Mm.
yeah, exactly. So, like, if it's a TikTok dance, for example, maybe you're
Yeah.
throwing up some words that are coming out as you're dancing, and it's able to basically combine more information into that reel, not just of you dancing. Like things
Hmm.
along those lines that may
Yeah.
help bridge your business doesn't have to be, crazy editing or
Yeah.
anything like
Yeah.
that. It can just be very simple. Now, another thing that I always say to my clients, if they are more trend based, especially
Mhm.
our management clients,
Uh-huh.
we do trend forecasting for them
No
on a
way.
6
Ooh.
day basis, sometimes
Okay.
2 week basis if they really want to hit the trends like when they're super hot, basically.
Yeah.
So then we'll show them, hey, this is what we're seeing right now on the algorithm.
Hmm.
Do any of these resonate with you?
Would
And
love
that's
it.
great because that again can be tailored to their brand a little bit more, whatever they're resonating with. They don't have
Yes.
to spend hours, searching for the trends and things like that. So a
Yes.
little bit of food for thought along those lines. But when it comes to your intuition, I always say if you are having conversations, repetitive conversations in your container or with
Hmm.
your one-on-one clients,
Hmm.
that's an intuitive download coming
Hmm.
through your clients, and
Yeah.
you're seeing the similarities. That's something that you should probably create content around. There may not even need to be an SEO search for
Hmm.
content like that because you
Hmm.
know that your clients are already struggling or asking you these questions. Talk about it on your story. That's something that I do because I want to get it right out there right then. And then we'll turn
Hmm.
the story into a reel.
Oh,
So
I
there's,
like that. Yeah. So it's like don't sit on things too long. I know that I've actually seen quite a lot of people talk about that recently, is that sometimes people are overthinking it, right? This is very easy for us to do, us creative people. We're overthinking of it. We're overthinking like how much we want to do, how we're going to incorporate it into our business. And by the time we get to actually creating the content or sharing our ideas or our opinion on a topic, it's overly saturated and it's done. And so
yeah.
we have to move on. Interesting. What platform? So I never really thought about SEO for content creation. I only ever thought about SEO for website platforms, for like, oh, okay, if I have a blog on my WordPress site, then I need to pay attention to SEO. And then maybe for YouTube as well, right? Because YouTube is owned by the biggest, a website in the world, Google. So we know that hashtags and keywords are really huge there when it comes to Google. But you were telling me that actually other platforms as well, like SEO is important for them too. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have noticed over the past few months, and now you can log into your Facebook or like obviously your Gmail, right? But it'll use your Gmail login sometimes
Yes.
when you're logging into Facebook. So
Yes.
this is a great representation of how these platforms are now, they've created some sort of agreement, right, when it comes to the data. And they're
Mm-hmm.
exchanging the data and they're exchanging information, and you're seeing it through the login page. So
Yes.
that's the type of infer, that I can take for looking at the platforms and seeing how they're connecting. Now,
Mm.
what else we're seeing is you'll hear people say hashtags are going away. I still love hashtags. I will always love hashtags. I
Well, they
think,
keep going back and forth on this because I know on Instagram, like there was at one point where people were like, I just had a meeting with Instagram and they say don't do any hashtags or no more than 5. And then I saw another person the next week that was like, I just had a meeting with Instagram and they said do as many as you want, up to 15. And it's like, what? How do you keep track, right? So
I
yeah,
know.
sorry to interrupt, but what do you think about hashtags for that?
No, it's so true because these platforms are still trying to figure out as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah,
it's based
exactly.
off of users is
Hmm.
how they change their information, what people are using, what people aren't using. Are
Yeah.
people using hashtags to search? I still use them to search. So that's
Mhm.
why I still use them.
Yeah.
So again, maybe that's more of an intuitive thing for you, like if you don't use them. The reason why I love it is because there's something called the Instagram map. So now I can also infer that they are creating this more searchable type of platform. So you can
Mm.
actually go on Instagram, search your hometown, back out of the map, and you'll click search this location, and you can put hashtag facialist, hashtag waxing,
No. How did I not know about this?
and you can find local practitioners that are hashtagging on the app, and they have to be tagging their location too.
Oh my God.
So,
Okay, I need to tell my clients, like one of my clients owns a salon. Like this is exactly the kind of thing that, yeah, okay.
yeah, we work with a
Amazing.
lot of
Okay, so good.
Yeah,
Uh,
really good if you have like brick and mortar, but even if not, right? Because
yeah.
sometimes, like I'm from Philadelphia, so we have a very heart-centered type of like Philadelphia football team, right? So
Yes.
it's nice icebreaker when you
Mhm.
meet somebody a little bit more local too. So that's another way to think about it, especially online, because we don't know. Sometimes people are a little freaked out, if you
Yeah.
like slide into their DMs and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know them.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
great to kind of locally ice break. So that's another thing. But that's where I'm seeing these more searchable types of platforms.
Mm,
And another thing with ads that I recently learned last week is that you actually on Instagram and Facebook, I should say, Instagram and Facebook ads,
mhm,
they're now utilizing AI instead of you picking your like lookalike audience. Now you can still choose those audiences, but a lot
mhm.
of people are saying these ads aren't working when they're choosing these lookalike audiences. And that's because they are now implementing an AI tool to pull the words out of the actual caption of your ad. And that's how they're redirecting the information. So when you are on your phone
Uh-huh.
and you talk about, I want to buy some new dress shoes for this wedding that I'm coming up to,
Mhm.
all of a sudden you're inundated with shoe ads on Instagram and
Yes, yes.
because
And
it's
people are wondering, like, how did this happen? Yeah.
it did happen, right? And it's all a setting on your phone, which you can turn off at any time. It's kind of a
Mhm.
pain if you do go live because then you have to like return the setting
Oh my
back
gosh.
on for it to get to your microphone. Side note. But yeah, so basically the AI will pull that information and that data from the conversations and the people that have opted into the terms and the conditions, and then they'll
Wow.
funnel that ad out for you.
Wow. Okay.
Automatically using AI.
This
Yeah.
is like mind blowing. Seriously, I cannot wait for you to come to the constellation community. There's so much that we're going to get into. You are just a font of knowledge, information. But what I love about you, Virgo midheaven, we found that out. We found that out earlier today. Cait is a Virgo midheaven. But what I love about it is that you are so good at like looking at the big picture, all of the different things that are going on in the industry, the trends, the data, the research, the all the things, and then giving us like the precise piece of insight that we need to use. So like thank you for that. Thank you for being you. You're exactly where you need to be in the
Oh,
right,
thank
like
you.
you're doing it, girl. Like you do. This is so good. Thank you so much for coming and sharing. I know this was just a taster for everyone. And hopefully, if you're like me, you're getting really excited. You want to learn more, you want to know more, you want to start utilizing SEO in your business. What's like the one thing that someone can get started with today? And then we want to tell people about how to find you and work with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say if you're not familiar with SEO, go on, try this application. It's called Mango. I'll spell it out for you all. It's called Mangools. And I believe it is mainly free. Now you can always purchase, the platform. I think it's pretty reasonable and you're going
Okay.
to get more information, when you purchase. But
Hmm.
go on and just start to keyword search. Just see what comes up for your industry, type your industry in there, type your ideal client in there, and just
Hmm.
kind of get a taste of what they're searching for and see if your current content is kind of directing towards that problem already or that basically like it doesn't have to be a problem, right? It could also be like a solution to the problem.
Hmm.
Because we don't just want to think negative about the keyword
Yes.
search. It can be positive as well, because that's really what they're looking for. They're looking for answers
Mm.
when they type this information in. So I would say just dip your toes in it, see how it
Okay.
goes, see
Yeah.
what you come up with, and kind of test some of the rankings. Like if you see a very large number,
Hmm.
again, maybe that's too large, right? Maybe it's not going to help us rank. Think about those million hashtag tags.
Hmm.
Too many people, but
Yeah.
maybe something more mid-market would make sense. And again, come to our chat and we'll show you very specifically what numbers to be looking at.
So good. Oh my gosh. This is this just gems. Gems, gems, gems. Okay, great. So let us know, how can people find you and how can they work with you? I'm going to go slightly off camera just for a moment and let you share that and then I'll be right back.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, so everyone can find me on Instagram at Meraki, MERAKI_media_management. Send me a DM over there if you have any questions, just based off of what I chatted about today. I also have a website, merakimediamanagement.com, and we do specialize in social media management services for businesses and business owners. So we have all different types of packages. They range from a done with you package to full management packages all across platforms. We're talking YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, all of the things. Um, And basically, we create content for you based off of videos or, again, trending ideas that we come up with together, and we post everything for you. So that's a little bit about what we do.
So good. This is exactly the kind of service that so many of my clients are always asking about. They're like, I love my business, but maybe they don't love the content creation side, or maybe they're like, this is a lot of work, the editing. Like for me, my dream is like having someone to edit all my stuff because I am like a content machine, but it's the editing that slows me down. And I'm like, this would be amazing to have someone. So we need to talk. Okay. So everyone go and follow Cait, follow Meraki Media Management and learn all the good things. And of course, come and hang out with us on November 14th inside the Constellation community. It is going to be an amazing event. Thank you so, so much, Cait. I
Thank you
love
so
it.
much. This was so amazing.
Yes, this was so good. I just love how much you are supporting people to grow their soul businesses, to do what they love, to bring their passion to the world. Like that's what we're here for, right? That is what we do. So good.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. And we will see you next time on the Cosmic Queen podcast.